Today I'm going to be talking about nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is something we use in our everyday life, from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed. We're constantly using this. When we walk out our door and we see a stranger jogging on the street or someone walking their dog, and we just wave a hand or nod our head, we're saying something to them without even speaking. It's something that's natural. It's something that we do by habit that we don't even realize we're doing. That's nonverbal communication. A lot of times it's easier to do nonverbal communication than verbal communication. When we're busy, when we're typing something, when we're deep in thought and someone walks by and says, "Hi, how you doing today?" We just look up and we nod and they get the message, we're doing good, but we're busy, can't talk right now. We do that all in the process of a simple head nod. And we understand that, we get that. That's nonverbal communication. You know, a guy, Dale Carnegie, said there are 4 ways and only 4 ways in which we have contact with the world. We are evaluated and classified by these 4 ways. What we do, how we look, what we say, and how we say it. Those 4 things define and prove who we are from the very get-go. That's how we evaluate things, that's how we see things. When someone walks in a room and we see how they're dressed and we see how they act, we judge them based off of that. We don't hear them first, we see them first. And if someone walks into a room and they're dressed in sweatpants and a sweatshirt and their hair's all messed up, we immediately think that something's wrong or they're having a bum day or something like that. And we judge them right off the bat and we approach them in a whole different way than if they walked in a suit and tie and nice hair and they were all dressed up fancy. And we judge them in a different way. We look at them in a little different light. It's all because of nonverbal communication. The communication they're giving off with their body language alone is a lot. Sometimes it's even more important than verbal communication. Another person, Peter Drucker, said the most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. It's very true. If someone comes in and you ask them how they're doing and they say, "Oh, I'm doing great," but you can tell that something's just off. That's important because they might be going through something really tough, but they don't know if you're interested enough, and so they just want to keep on going. But you can see how they look, see how they're acting, you can evaluate that, and then you might be able to help someone that's in need. Or if someone comes in like, "Oh, well, it's been a really rough day." You can tell by the way they look and how they said that they want you to inquire about their day. They want you to seek out what's really wrong so that they can tell you, that they can explain things to you. That's their goal behind it. So hearing what isn't said is a major factor in communication. And a lot of that's done by nonverbal communication. A lot of that's done by how they act and what they look like and things like that. That's what that is. And it's important to communication. It's important to family and friends to get to know them and get to see what type of person they are. A lot of people sometimes don't like nonverbal communication. There are some downsides of that. Some downsides would simply be they can be misinterpreted. You know, you can walk in and not look the greatest, but yet you're having the time of your life. You just forgot to do laundry one day. You know, and so people might look at you and be like, "Ooh, they're having a rough day," or something like that, and yet you're having the time of your life. Or it could be flipped. You know, you could walk in a suit and a tie and look really nice and fancy, but inside you're hurting and you're in pain, but nobody sees it because you can play it off real well. So there are some downsides to nonverbal communication. You know, sometimes someone might give a wink just goofing around or being a friend, but another person might interpret it as you like them. And so then that can get all mixed messages and that could go horribly wrong. But, so, it's not 100% accurate, but it's pretty close. I know a lot more people that can't hide how they're feeling than those that can. Some people have gotten really good at it, others not so much. But nonverbal communication, again, is something that we use everyday life. It's something that we need to learn, it's something that we need to get associated with, and that we need to look out for. We need to look out for the people that aren't having the best day. We need to watch how they're moving, you know? When you sit down to talk with someone, don't continually look at your phone while they're talking or things like that, because that, again, is nonverbal communication. Gives off the impression that you don't care, that you don't like what they're saying. You could like what they're saying, but what you're giving off is totally different than what you really mean. So you always want to be aware of nonverbal communication. You always want to be aware of how you act, how you look. Make sure you're presentable. Make sure that people want to be around you, and make sure you watch other people so that you can see how they act as well. Thank you so much.
All right, I got through it. That was about 6 minutes.